All right, let's get started. We've got our four pieces in our subtool palette. We're going to start by taking the low-res pieces and UVing them. So I'm going to click on the skull here. I'm going to solo this out. I'm hitting my solo button. All right, I've created a hotkey for the solo button. The solo button can be found up in Transform right here, solo. All right, you can see the video on the workbook or on FSO on how to create a hotkey, but I find this hotkey very useful. Okay, so let's go ahead and solo it out, and let's go ahead and export this guy out. Now, I'm going to be using the Maya project directory that came with the scene, and I'm going to be exporting stuff out to the data folder. So anything you export out goes into the data folder. All right. So I'm going to take this guy and let's just go ahead and hit export. Okay. I'll find my folder here, data, and we're just going to call this skull low obj. And we'll save that. Okay. And let's go over to Maya. And let's go ahead and hit file. I'm going to go ahead and set my project. It's going to be on my desktop right here. Okay, we'll set the project. Then let's go ahead and go File, Import Option Box. Now this part is really important, so don't skip the option box part. Okay, so we'll open this guy up, and we immediately want to change this from Best Guess to OBJ. Okay, and then you want to scroll down and make sure that Single Object is selected. By default, multiple objects will be turned on. You need to turn on single object. And you'll only get this single object option. Let me just open this window up. All right. You only get this single object option if you have OBJ selected. If you have Best Guess, you don't get that option. And you really do want to make sure that's turned on. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit Import. It's going to take us right to our data folder. Maya knows that OBJs should live in the data folder. So I didn't have to go find it because I set my project and I'm opening up an OBJ. It took me right to the data folder. Okay, so we'll take this guy and import him in. And there he is there. So we'll select him. Let's go ahead and open up our UV editor. Okay, and we're going to come over to, so make sure that your skull is selected, and then we'll come over here and go to Create Planar. Okay, so this will give us that right there, and I'll just make this window a little bit smaller. There we go. All right, so let's come over to our skull. I'm going to right click on it and choose Edge, and then we're going to come around to the back, and I'm going to start selecting edges from probably right here. Okay. And I'm just going to hold Shift and continue to select these edges, following it underneath here. Okay, oops. Going inside right here. Right here. I'll choose this, then this, and then I'm going to go right down the middle. Right to here. I think right there should be good. All right, and once we've got all our edges selected, let's go ahead and come over to Cut and Sew, and we'll hit Cut. If I click off the model right now, you should be able to see a thick white line, right, showing us where our cut is. All right, there we go. And then we'll just right click and click UV, and we'll select the whole thing. And let's come down here to, let's scroll down a bit, go to Unfold, and hit Unfold. All right, and there we go. We've got that right there. Now let me undo this, because I'm going to do this. If I click on Unfold, I'm going to hold Shift and click on Unfold, and it's going to give me my options. And I'm going to take the iterations to, say, 20, and I'm going to make sure that I click on Layout UVs. All right, this is important. Now, depending on what version of Maya you have, it might say Layout UVs or Pack UVs, all right? And then go ahead and hit Apply and Close, and you'll see that it'll put it in its 0 to 1 space, okay? Now, I like to scale it in a little bit. ZBrush does a funny thing if you've got points that are touching the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and scale this in just a tiny bit so that the points aren't touching the edge, just like that. All right, here we go. Let's come back out here and go to object mode. Oops, object mode. There we go. All right, so now we've got UVs. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Okay, and let's go ahead and re-export this guy out. So come up here to File, Export Selection option box. We're going to make sure that we export this guy out as an OBJ. All right, right there. Now, if you don't see OBJ as an export option, you can see it right here, OBJ export. If you don't see it, it's because it's a plugin and it needs to be turned on. So up here under Windows, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager. All right, here you go. If you scroll down, these things are alphabetical. So if you scroll down to O, right, you're going to see OBJ Export Bundle. Just make sure those are both turned on. All right. And while we're in here, we may as well make sure that Arnold is turned on. So if you scroll down here, you'll see, let's see, where is it here? Right here. Solid Angle MTOA. All right, Maya to Arnold. You want to make sure both of those are checked. Okay, so we can close this up. OBJ export is selected. You can leave all of this stuff on. This stuff really doesn't matter for us. And we'll go ahead and export that selection out. Okay. And let's go ahead and put that into our data folder. In fact, we'll just open this up. Let's just go ahead and overwrite this OBJ. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and export selection. It's saying that that already exists, and we'll say that's okay. All right. So we've exported this guy out. Let's come over to ZBrush. All right. Here's our low-res model. Again, if we come down here to the UV map section, you can see it's all grayed out. We don't have UVs. All right. So let's come over here, and without touching anything, let's just go ahead and import. Oh. There we go. Let's take this same skull that we sent out and we're bringing back. This one now has UVs. We'll open that up. All right, and now if we scroll down here to the UV map section, you'll see that this is not grayed out anymore, and we can morph our UVs. All right, so you'll see there's our UVs. Now, I should point out here, it looks sometimes like there are edges missing. You can see right here, and here, and here, and here. Don't panic if you see that. That is just a graphics card sort of glitch. Don't worry about it. We'll just morph that back. So now that we've got UVs on this guy, we're ready to start projecting it against our high-res model. All right. So in the next video, we're going to come back. We'll end this video now. We'll come back on the next video, and we'll do UVs for the hat. But we're going to do the UVs for the hat inside of ZBrush.